Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's Joe Fitz. Today we're gonna go over Sunday slate for DraftKings. We're gonna do some DFS here. I know I do gambling, DFS, NBA. Do a lot on my channel. Subscribe, hit the like. I'll be putting up videos each week for DK. We can close this one here. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look over last week's lineup that I built here. Josh Allen didn't do much, 20 points, but they started real slow, so I took the 20. I'll take it because he started the first half, 3 turnovers before he even got on the board. So 20 points. Dalvin Cook, I nailed the running back last week. I put up a few duds. I told you to play Justin Jackson. I told you to give Kenyon Drake and Kerryon Johnson a try. I also told you to get on Leonard Fournette, and none of those guys were any good. But the first 5 running backs that I mentioned on the on the video were Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson, Mark Ingram, and Austin Eckler. If you picked any combination of the two, you were in good standing. They all had over 25 points, each one of them. Actually, Bell had 23.2 when he was the lowest scoring one. So if you watched the video and got on those guys, good for you. Hopefully you made some money. Cole Beasley, he only had 5 catches, but he had 9 targets for 3,800. Getting 9 targets out of a guy, that's exactly what we were looking for. But he just didn't, or 3,600. He just didn't pull him in. 9 targets. Tyreek, we all know he got hurt in the first half. I still made money with this lineup. I mean, $3 or something, but he got hurt in the first half. I had him all over the place. It cost me some money, but that's what's great about DFS. You move on to the next week. Robert Woods, he's only had 16 points, but he had 13 targets. He out-targeted both Cup and Cooks. It looks like Woods is going to be the number 1 there in Los Angeles. I almost called him St. Louis. Los Angeles. I would keep my eye on Woods. Evan Ingram, I said I was going to plug him into every lineup. And I pretty much did. I had some Mark Andrews, which did me well. I also had a little Hunter Henry, which did not do me well. But Evan Ingram, I told you 4,800 was way too cheap. Way too cheap. This week, I can't see it this week, but he's still too cheap this week. But we'll talk about that when we get to him. But 4,800, 31 points. He put me above on a lot of my lineups. He really gave me an advantage. Christian McCaffrey. That's Christian McCaffrey because he's always cash. We know what we're getting with him. 45 points. He's a stud. And then the Seahawks D, they struggled against Cincinnati. 12 points. That's not what we're looking for to win a GPP, but this would have been a real nice lineup if Tyreek didn't go down. But you live, you learn. You move on. We'll move on to this week's slate. Last week I had the totals up and I was switching back and forth. I'm not going to bother you guys with that this week. I'll tell you the totals. I wrote them down. I'll tell you the top games are KC, Oakland, 53.5. Saints, Rams, 52. Miami, New England, 40.5. Those are the games you want to target in GPP. Anytime teams are projected to score high, you want to get the players who obviously have a chance of getting in the end zone. As far as games we don't want to target this week, I think I only see one on the slate. That's Chicago-Denver. We're not going to target that game unless it's a defense. There's my NBA stuff. We're not going to target that game unless it's a defense. That's 40-point total. It should be slow. Neither team looked great last week. We won't get any offensive players on that. All right, let's hop into this. As far as quarterback's concerned, obviously you can play Mahomes any week in cash. GPP, it doesn't matter. 30.2 though, 70. I'm not paying 7,200 for. You can if you want, because any week against Oakland, he can go for 45. But I'm not gonna pay up. So can all these guys down here, and you don't have to pay 7,500 for him. Lamar Jackson, he's not gonna have a week like he did last week. He threw 5 touchdowns. He didn't even run the ball. He had 36 points. I told you I'd play him in GPP, but this week I'm going to avoid him. His price, 6,700. I don't trust his arm. He was against a bad Miami team. I just don't trust him here. I don't trust the spot. You can play him in GPP because he has that upside, especially with the legs. If he throws 2 touchdowns, he can get you your value here. But I don't know. Deshaun Watson, I think he's a better play than Lamar Jackson this week. 6,600. He had 31 points last week. He 40 rushing yards, a touchdown. He's gonna run. He's gonna throw it. They got a high flying offense. Jacksonville defense gave up 40 versus the Chiefs. They can do the same thing here. Houston can put up 40 on you too. Um, Tom Brady sticks out like a sore thumb here. Cash games, you gotta lock him in. They won 33-3 last week, and he still threw 36 passes. You know New England doesn't let up. They should smoke Miami here. Brady should have a few scores. Just that 6,400, his price, it's too low. I'm going to take him over any of these guys around him in cash. GPP, I don't know if he has that upside. I don't know if he's ever going to... He's not going to throw 5-6. I mean, I guess he could. He could throw 5-6 touchdowns, but I think the Patriots, this is about right where he'll be. 341, 3. I expect him to have the same kind of performance as last week against Miami and their running backs to get some play. Other cash guys I would consider, obviously Aaron Rodgers, but like I said, I'd rather have Breeze for cash, or not Breeze, Tom Brady rather. Speaking of Breeze, that's where my next thought was. Drew Brees, Jared Goff, they're in the second highest total of the game, that 52. I don't mind either of them in cash. I would prefer Goff. I'd like the home. I'd like to get home players. I'd like the home quarterback. You don't got to deal with the noise. The Rams defense is probably a little bit better than the Saints. If this was cash lineup, if we were building a cash here, I would lock him in and move on. But we're not. We're building a GPP, so we're gonna go down here. This guy, Derek Carr. Oakland played on Monday night, so these salaries are released Monday during the day, so they don't get a chance to catch up with the Monday night games. Because of that, we seen what Oakland did last week. Their offense was not bad. They had Derek Carr, Tyrell Williams, Darren Waller, and Josh Jacobs all had good games, against Denver, and Denver was supposed to have a good defense. 5,100. Next week, it's going to catch up, and he's going to be higher. Take advantage of now. Cash games, I'd plug him right in there. That's the highest total of the week. He was 22 for 26 last week. I wasn't aware. He only threw one touchdown. He only had 14 points, but he should get a couple more scores. Cash, I don't mind playing him. GPP, I'll lean more towards him in GPP than I will cash for sure. Speaking of GPP, GPP guy that I really love. I guess you could play him in cash. I wouldn't because Golf is 5,900, but Big Ben at home. The home road splits for Big Ben are just drastically different. I know he only had 10 points. He got blanked by New England's D, but he's going home. This is their home opener. Seattle didn't look good last week. GPP, you can stack him with Juju, it looks like he's going to play. James Conner, he's going to play. I expect the Steelers offense to get back on track. Another guy I wouldn't mind playing here, this is the last quarterback. Oh, I got one more quarterback after this that I'm going to play. But Andy Dalton, he had a career game last week against Seattle. 418 yards, 2 touchdowns. John Ross, who took 2 long passes to the house, 33 and 55. I don't expect him to have that kind of performance again, but they have a new offensive coordinator. He might be their head coach, Zach Taylor. He's supposed to get this offense going, high flying. They looked good last week. I don't mind playing Andy Dalton in GPPs. I want to play him in cash. San Fran D, they're not the second best D. They played Jameis Winston. They had that advantage. So, just like Baltimore had the advantage of playing, Miami. Speaking of Miami, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't mind him in GPPs this week. Miami's going to be playing from behind. New England's defense did look good last week, but Fitzpatrick could throw 40 balls. He could also get taken out for our boy Josh Rosen there. So we're going to avoid him. I was considering playing him, which is why I went to him and talked to him anyways. I was going to play him, but that New England D looked good last week against Pittsburgh. Even though New England seems to struggle in Miami, I don't mind playing Fitzpatrick in GPP. I wouldn't play him in too many lines. You can pair him with Albert Wilson. he's not healthy right now. It looks like he's not going to play, so I don't mind Devontae Parker. You pair Fitzpatrick with Parker or Mike Gesicki at the tight end. He's a cheap tight end. Oh, we'll talk about Minshew. Everybody's going to be on Minshew. He looked good last week. People like him. He's a fan favorite. Houston. I'm sorry, I lost him here. Houston's defense didn't look great, but they were playing against Drew Brees. This guy's a rookie on the road. I'll avoid him. I would rather plug Flacco in against. I'd rather plug Eli in. Let's put it that way. As a matter of fact, Eli threw 44 passes. Like we're gonna plug Eli in. That's what we're gonna do. This is a GPP. We gotta take some chances. What we're gonna do right off the bat, we're gonna jump the tight end. We know who we want. Evan Ingram. I just talked about him already. If 4,800 was too cheap, 5,200 is too cheap. This guy's going to keep putting up numbers. I don't trust Buffalo's D. Giants looked sharp for 15 minutes, and then they fell apart. But, these guys can connect for a couple of scores, and we're talking business, If Eli can throw 2 touchdowns at 4,900, I'll take it. Right. Well, we're not going to do the flex. We're going to move over to the defense. We're going to do this because these are the lowest salary players. So you see my average remaining here is 5,700. I know who I want to plug in here. Lowest total of the week. It's not the Bears because the Bears are on the road. They didn't look great last week. I said that. We'll play Denver. Denver right here in the middle. They're in the middle of the pack. Let's see other defenses we can pick. Baltimore. You can play Baltimore. I want it. I know they looked great last week, but they're playing Miami. Let's see what they are. Patriots. That you can lock them in. I know they don't travel to Miami well, but this Miami team is garbage. They're not going to win a game. They're expected to go 0-16, and they likely will. Chiefs, I would not play. Jacksonville, that rookie quarterback lit them up. So let's see who I would play. I want to play any of these teams really. I'm just going to stick with Denver here. I don't see anything else that I like as far as defense is concerned. I guess you can give it a shot with Cincinnati. Jimmy G did not look good last week. I would love for the Panthers to be on the slate going against Winston, but unfortunately we don't get that. Houston, 2,800 here. I know they didn't look great against Breeze, but they are playing a rookie quarterback, so I don't mind Houston at 2,800. I'll just take the Broncos for cheaper, though. I guess you could take Dallas. I know this is the Redskins, but you could take Dallas, but they're a little more pricey. We're not going to, I'm going to stick with Denver. All right, let's move on to the running backs. Last week I nailed the running backs. Let's see if I can do it again. All right, these guys are studs. We all know what these guys are going to do. Kamara is in that high total game. 52 is the total. He's going to touch the ball. Let's see, 23 last week. The guy, he had 21 targets. He had 8 targets along with 13 attempts, so 21 total, opportunities. The Saints' offense is the Saints' offense. They're going to move the ball. They're going to score. I think 8,200 might be a little too low. I don't think he should be 500 cheaper than Zeke. I like his opportunity more. I like the game here, the game flow against the Rams. I would love to put Todd Gurley in here, but he's got them other running backs that he's splitting carries with. I would love to get Kamara and Gurley, but we can't do that. Gurley, avoid him at all costs until further notice, until he proves he can do something. Dalvin Cook, I could see plugging him in again. I think his price might have went up too much though. It's $1,000 increase in a week. Last week the Vikings only threw the ball 10 times. That gave Cook plenty of opportunity. Is he going to get the same opportunity this week? Green Bay can score. I don't like the game script for them. They're on the road. I'll avoid Dalvin Cook this week. Mixon. It looks like Mixon might miss this week. He might miss some time. He was held out of practice today. If he misses time, I still do not like Gio Bernard. He's just... Where is he? Here he is. 5,300. I would play him in GPP only because he's playing against San Francisco and he might have some opportunity. But I'm sorry, I'm watching the Thursday night game. It just came back on. Big stop for the Panthers. Bucks are about to kick a field goal, take a 3-0 lead. But Gio Bernard, I mean, I know he's going to get touches. I know he's going to get opportunity. But he had 3 yards of carry, 3 catches. I mean, he had opportunity last week. He didn't do anything. There's going to be a lot of people on him, and I think we'll let them take the dud. He's going to have a dud game, I'm sure. Cash guys I do want to talk about are Chris Carson. Let's see, his price last week, he went about 700, but this is about right where he should be. I don't like this is another game. I don't like his game script. I think they could get behind. In Pittsburgh, Seattle offensive line did not look good. We'll avoid him for now. Maybe plug him a couple GPPs, but he's not going to do what he did last week. I know Cincinnati kept it tight, but I just don't see it. He's getting too expensive. Leonard Fournette, he's a good GPP play. I want to play him in cash because you know he does. He gives us duds all the time. 12.4. But this Houston defense, like, you can run the ball on him. He could have a big game here. If Jacksonville decides they're going to help their rookie quarterback by giving him the ball. I mean, his price is too low if he's going to get 25 carries. Last week he only had 13 plus 9, but they were trailing, so he had 19 opportunities. I'm going to plug Fournette in, but we're going to keep talking about these backs. Sony Michel, he's a GPP play only, but New England can get out to a big lead here, and you do just the problem with it. GPP play, the problem with Sony Michel is James White is also a GPP play at 5,100, as is Rex Burkhead, because you don't know who it's going to be in New England. If you pick the right guy, that's good on you. That you'll probably make some money, because one of these guys can have 3 touchdowns this week. We know how New England does. But I'd avoid them for the most part, unless you're throwing together 20 GPP lineups. Maybe have them in a couple. Austin Eckler, we're going to talk about Austin Eckler. As far as cash is concerned, you can lock him in. Detroit's not very good against the run. 6,100. His price didn't go up high enough yet. He's the starting back. He had a lot more touches than Jackson, which surprised me. I said he won it on the show last week, but he did. He had 20 touches. His price is going to get up there. Melvin Gordon is not coming back. Melvin Gordon is 7,300. Eckler's going to get up to 73. Take advantage. Cash, plug him in. Mark Ingram, I want to play him this week. We'll skip right past him. He did his thing last week after I plugged him in, but they're not going to blow the Cardinals out like they did. I know it's a 13-point spread, but this game should be closer than that. I wonder how the other backs behind. He only had 14 touches, so they must have had some run back there. But 14 touches, he's just super efficient against Miami. 50-yard run, that helps. I would avoid Ingram for now. I know I loved him last week. This is the guy right here that we want for cash. Derrick Henry. He's going to touch the ball. He touched it 21 times last week. And there's not a lot of 20-plus touch guys in the NFL anymore. Derrick Henry's one of them. He's going to be the lead back. Cash games, plug him in. He's going to be heavily owned, so I won't play him in GPP. I'm just taking a look here at my GPP list. We'll keep moving here. Duke Johnson, I don't like him. Carlos Hyde had a bunch of carries last week. He kind of cuts into Duke's. He was supposed to have some type of workload, but 13 points. He was supposed to be a lead back. We're good on Duke Johnson. This guy is a nice GPP play here. LaShawn McCoy. Curtis Samuel just caught a long ball. LaShawn McCoy, he had 10 attempts. He had a target. 11. You're only going to play him in GPP. You would never play him in cash. But I think as the year goes on, we know that McCoy is one of Andy Reid's guys. I think he's going to get more integrated into the offense, and he's going to play a big role. He could end up being their starting quarterback. Josh Jacobs, obviously, I told you they don't get to account for the Monday night game, so he's way too low. Workhorse back. Problem in GPP is everybody's going to be on him, but it might not matter. 4,700, it might not matter that everybody's on him. Although he does have a negative game flow game there because they're expected to trail. I know it's in Oakland, but they might run the ball a lot in the beginning. But KC should put some points up, and then Oakland will be throwing the ball. Tariq Cohen, I don't mind a GPP stab at him, but like I said, we're trying to avoid that Chicago-Denver game. He had 10 targets, so that's always nice. He will be low owned, but that's going to be a low scoring game. So Malcolm Brown, we all see what he did last week. 11 attempts, 53 yards, 2 touches. They're going to integrate Brown into this offense. This isn't Todd Gurley's backfield like it should be. I can see you playing Brown in GPP. Maybe he'll get some opportunity in this high scoring game. He can get some red zone touches, and we could play him in GPP, but I won't. Chris Thompson, we know that Darius guys got hurt this week. Chris Thompson, you can plug him in cash. You can plug him in GPP. The only problem with Thompson is that he is going to be very high owned. His ownership is going to be high. He got 10 targets with Geis on the field. I'm locking him into my cash lineups, 3,900. He's going to get plenty of opportunity. We're going to lock him in. The last guy I wanted to talk about was Latavius Murray. GPP, cash. You know, he broke a long run, or a 30-yard touchdown last week. He was efficient, 12.7. If he gets more opportunity in the red zone, he can put a couple touchdowns on with Drew Brees in them. But those are my GPP plays. Let's see who I'm gonna stick with for my GPP. Maybe I'll come back to that. We'll move on to wide receiver. Right, as far as cash is concerned, we know what these top guys are going to do. Green Bay, or Devontae Adams in Green Bay. He only caught 4 balls last week, but he should get on track here. He's always a leading receiver. Michael Thomas, as long as you don't pick Tyreek Hill like I did last week, and then he misses all that time. Any of these top guys are fine for cash GPP. If you have Big Ben, you'll definitely want to put him with Juju. I think Juju's too low here. 8 targets, 7,300. I think he's too low. He had a decent game against New England. Nothing great. He didn't get into the end zone. He didn't have any big plays, but he's still 13 points for a shutout. They got shut out. But my favorite play here is Amari Cooper, as far as cash is concerned. 7,400. He had 9 targets last week. Dallas just threw it to him over and over at one point. I like Cooper. I like Sammy Watkins. I know his price is high. Last week it's funny. He jumped up 2,200. Last week he was 5,000, but then Tyreek goes down. He has that monster game. He was gonna have a big game. I think he had a touchdown catch before Tyreek was gone. So Sammy Watkins, he's a cash play. He's the number 1 wide receiver on the highest scoring offense in the league, the highest scoring total game. You can plug him in cash all day. He's going to get targets. Plug him in your cash lineups. That's fine. Thielen, I guess he should get more opportunity this week. Vikings only threw the ball 10 times last week. He was on my plug-in cash. I mean, he scored. That helped you a little, 13.3, but that's not the kind of numbers we expect from Thielen. He should get on track here. Green Bay defense isn't great. I mean, I know they only gave up 3 to Chicago, but that's Chicago. I could definitely see Thielen having a 10 target game at least. I like the price, 7,100. That's fine. You can play him in cash, no GPP. I'm just taking a look at my list here. Yep, GPP. I know Antonio Brown. It looks like he could play. He's practicing. But I think this week for GPP, Julian Edelman is a sneaky play here. He had 11 targets last week. He didn't do much. 16 points. He kind of hides. It's easy to overlook Edelman, but he could have a big game here against Miami. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna play Edelman. The next guy we're gonna move on to is Robert Woods. We talked about him already. 13 targets last week. 70 yards. The Rams' offense didn't look great. They didn't get in the end zone, or the receivers didn't get in the end zone. I think Cooper Kupp might have, but Woods and Cooks didn't. Cooks did jack squat. Six catches, six targets, two catches, 39 yards. He was atrocious. But that Rams offense should get on track. This is a high scoring total, so we're gonna plug Robert Woods in too. I like both of them. I think a lot of people could be on Woods. That could be a problem. I'll probably check his ownership as we head into Sunday, see if I should swap him out. But once I set this lineup, I play this lineup because I like to look at it in the next week's video. I like to see how we did. GPP, Michael Gallup. I don't mind him at all. This week he had 7 targets. He caught all 7. Nice. 150 yards. He had a great game. 25 points. Washington's defense gave up 2 long balls to Deshaun Jackson last week. Gallup is the long ball receiver in Dallas. I could see him having a great game here. As far as GPP is concerned, we're not going to play him in any cash. We're still looking here. John Brown, this is the guy I want to talk about. 5,200. Last week he started 43, but he had 10 targets. He's Josh Allen's number 1 receiver. John Brown's going to be the guy there in Buffalo. I don't know if being Josh Allen's number 1 receiver accounts for much, but he's a GPP play. He's playing the Giants. The Giants are very good. You could have a monster game here. Marquise Brown, I would avoid him. I know he had 5 targets, but listen, he logged 14 snaps. He was on the field that much. That game's going to be so overblown. He was playing a bad defense. We're going to avoid Marquise Brown probably for the rest of the season. He's going to not be what people thought he was. I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a good career, but that was 1 week against Miami. He was on for 15 snaps, and he's just not going to get the opportunities they should. Hardman. Now, this is the guy. You can play him in GPP. He's expected to fill in. You know, we all know Tyreek Hill is hurt. He expected to fill in the slot, but the problem is he's also expected to split time with DeAnthony Thomas. But that may not happen. GPP, give it a shot. Give him a shot in GPP. 4,800. Nicole Harmon, whatever his name is. He could be the next man up in KC. They need this production to come from somewhere. It can't all be Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce. We're going to need another guy to step up. Larry Fitz, cash plug and play, 13 targets. 13 targets, a touchdown, 113 yards, and his salary went down for some reason. It went down to 4,600. I think people are just overlooking him because he's Larry Fitz. He's an old man, but he's getting opportunity there. You can play him in cash. You can play him in GPP. He's going to catch some balls. Another guy on the same team, 12 targets. He had 12 targets. The Cardinals are going to throw the ball a lot. Cliff Kingsbury, he wants that high pace. I was going to mix up the word speed and pace there. That high-paced offense. 12 targets. He only caught 4 balls, but it's all fantasy football is all about opportunity. We don't play him in cash. He's a GPP play. But the problem is we have a guy here. As I said, Monday night, the Raiders played Tyrell Williams. His rating didn't get boosted, his salary. He caught 6 balls. He had a touchdown. He had 43 yards. He's going to be a focal point of the Chargers offense, I believe. Him and Darren Waller. They're going to be their receiving threats. Tyrell Williams, he's a cash play. You plug him into every cash lineup. You have to plug him in because the other team's going to plug him in. So we're not going to play him because this is a GPP. His ownership is going to be very high, 4,400. It didn't get an adjustment. So DK Metcalf, the rookie receiver for the Seahawks, I could definitely see plugging him in here this game. Even though the total's not high, it's 47. It's the 5th highest game of the slate. I mean, but the Seahawks don't have much at receiver. I mean, they have Tyler Lockett, but they need someone to really step it up, and this could be the guy. He had 6 targets, 89 yards. this could be a scoring game. They should have to chase after the Steelers here a little bit. Oh, I just want to see what Lockett is. I want to see how many targets he had as opposed to Metcalf. He had 2 targets and Metcalf had 6. So Metcalf is he's going to be their leading receiver, I guess. So after 1 week, that's how it looks. He only had 2 targets. You know what? We're gonna play Metcalf. I like him. I want to go back to that receiver though. There's a couple more guys I want to talk about. We're getting down here though. McLaurin, I want to plug him in. Same with the 7 targets though. I mean, I guess he could be a GPP play. There's gonna be a lot of people on him. 3,800. But I have no problem plugging him in GPP or cash. Actually, if he's going to get 7 targets a game and they're going to keep him at 3,800, there's no need not to play him in cash. But there's somebody that I like more down here. There's our Cole Beasley. I mean, you can plug him in GPP, but don't expect much from him. If he gets in the end zone, it's a great value. But who knows how many times Buffalo's going to get in the end zone this year. Guy I really want right here, 3,900. Danny Amendola, 13 targets. Detroit, they couldn't run the ball well last week. They threw it a lot over the middle. They got this guy. They got Hawkinson, Amendola and Hawkinson. It's going to be their lead in target guys. That's where Stafford likes to throw the ball, right over the middle. I can play. Oh, you know what? Do I want Metcalf? I'm going to go with Amendola. I'm going to go with the opportunity here. And then we'll see what we can do in these other spots. Yeah, so I mean, we pretty much talked about every position. Let's see. So we're gonna go up to. We got about 6,800 in salary. We're gonna plug Kamara in here and see what we can do. The flex, 55 hundo. Aaron Jones, he's a starting running back. I know Minnesota's defense didn't give up much last week to Atlanta. This guy's gonna get opportunities. I've just never been a big fan of Jones. He's got all the potential in the world. He never does anything. DD caught a late touchdown. Jacksonville may have to try to hang with Houston here, though. DD could be a nice GPP play, but not for me. Not right now. Joe Bernard, if Mixon misses time, I could go in and plug him in. Like I said, I think he's going to dud out, though. Fuller only had 2 targets last week, 3 targets. There's so many receivers there. They got Will Fuller, they got DeAndre Hopkins, they got Kenny Stills now catching balls, Duke Johnson. It's just a lot of balls to go around, or not enough rather. James White had 7 targets last week. He only had 11 touches. You know, I'd love to play him, but we're in a little bit of a pickle here. Duke Johnson. I'm not really sure who I want to go with. You know, I said I want a Michael Gallup, but we'll have to downgrade the defense a little bit, which I'm okay with. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take another swing at what are we going to do? Oh, let's see what the cheapest defense we can plug in here is. We talked about it. You know, I really don't like the Ravens this week. There's something in my gut is telling me to go against the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I know their defense did not look good last week, but that's okay. Now, up here, we can plug in Kupp. We can plug in Henry, Ingram. Marlon Mack against Tennessee. We have a lot more options when we downgrade the defense just by a couple hundred. We can still go with Gallup. I know that Derrick Henry is probably the guy we should go with, but I don't know. He's more of a cash guy. His floor, his ceiling is not as high as some of these other guys. He only had 4 targets. See, this is where it's tough. It's tough to pick this last guy. I like Kupp. He had 10 targets. You know, I'm going to plug in Kupp and Woods. We're going to play Kupp and Woods. And hopefully that LA New Orleans games gets out of hand. As far as scoring is concerned, I got 3 players from that game, the highest total: Kamara, Woods, Cup. I'm trying to look at that KC Oakland. I don't have anything in that one, so we'll have to get that in other lineups. But for the week, this is what we're gonna do. Hopefully, helped you out with some of these other plays, some of these other guys we could play. Golf. See, I would like to pair those guys with Golf 5,900, but I would have to save $1,000 somewhere, and I just don't have it. So this is the lineup we're gonna play in this GPP. $3 entry, $4 entry, whatever it is. Maybe we'll make in the next week. We'll see how it did. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the week. This slate seems kind of short, but it is what it is. All right. Good luck, everybody. Let me know in the comments if say what you want me to talk about next week. Any matchups, any games in particular. As far as DFS is concerned, betting, whatever. I love football. I'll talk about it all day. All right. Good luck, everybody.